Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D, campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood. When we last left off, the party arrived, following in the wake of the Tebadran Bandit Kingdom, to the city of Mercurial, the city of ogres and giants, where the summer ball is being hosted, a region-wide event where the politically powerful and royals and nobility of the region gather in one relatively neutral location to discuss politics, make alliances, and that sort of thing. There's a festival, there's a tournament, it's good stuff. The party, staying at the local fair of Nortwicks, encountered Raccoon, the goblin bard, who joined their party, and following some investigation, discovered that Lucian's brother is currently present at the city of Mercurial, following in their wake, presumably, and is currently staying in the care of one Dr. Watson, a mysterious prosthetics expert who Zephyr has already formed a hesitant alliance with. The party has accepted an invitation to tea at the little mansion where the nobility are staying over the course of the ball. It is 2 days until the ball begins proper. Royals and nobles are pouring into the city every day. You guys have just left Dr. Watson's clinic and are currently heading back to Nortwicks, unknown to yourselves, under the carefully watchful prosthetic eye of Lucian's brother, Lucifer Efelkir. As the four of you exit Dr. Watson's clinic and start making your way back to Nortwicks, what would you like to do?
For me, I'm just trying to, not lose my shit. Staring at the ground as I walk, just trying to process what just happened.
And Gil has a hand on her back, is stroking her, and pretty much he's got also has his other hand on one of his mini knives, keeping it like he's looking around, making sure they're not being followed.
I think for the first time, I want alcohol, like something really strong. She just kind of shakes her head a little.
Well, Lorcan can probably help you with that.
Well, I have that lotus juice or whatever. I could always use that.
No.
No. That's
I mean, you said that, it's really strong, right?
But you can get more addicted to it than actual alcohol. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, but I don't think that there's enough to actually get addicted, though.
That's what they always say for the bad druggy stuff.
True. Maybe I should just give it to Zephyr.
Why would I?
I'm just kidding, Zephyr. Don't have a heart attack. Anyways.
Maybe Lorcan can dilute it for you.
I don't know. What kind of... I guess I could try. I mean, I was going to mix it in with the, whatever alcohol he was going to give it to me. So, double whammy. Because, I'm not okay right now.
Let's see if he can dilute it. But also, I would later, when you're better and okay, like an explanation, because I was under the impression he was dangerous, but also I'm confused.
I will explain when we are sitting. I think I think I need to be sitting when I tell you, because it is a pretty long story.
It's okay, little goblin.
But I don't mind, sharing, what happened.
Wait, are you going to share knowledge, or are you going to share the booze?
Both?
Yes, I'm not much of a drinker, I mean, the most I've ever had was wine. So, drinking anything else is probably going to be a lot.
Drinks on me.
Okay, I would like to go inside of Northwick's.
Okay. The four of you proceed slowly and quietly to Nortwick's. Heading inside, Raccoon, taking a look around, you actually do not see the elvish proprietor of Nortwick's currently at the bar where he's normally working when you're not present. You don't see him anywhere, but the tavern is still relatively active.
That's
And
weird.
they seem relatively unconcerned with the lack of attention to the bar at the moment.
So if Lorcan isn't there, she's asking. I'm asking Raccoon this. If Lorcan isn't there, then who is going to serve food and drink?
Me?
Lucian seems very surprised at this. Well, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. You were doing that before we even met you.
I'll have you know, I'm good at this stuff. I'm just tiny. I just can't carry a lot.
I'm sure you're great.
Nope, don't worry, Raccoon. I'll help you. I can carry a lot of things.
I'm gonna find a seat.
All right.
Okay.
Raccoon with Gil providing some muscle. You guys gonna serve drinks?
Yes. What kind do you want? There's ale and there's meat and there's ale and there's meat and like a bottle of wine somewhere.
I don't eat meat. I eat fruit,
Mead.
or vegetables.
Mead.
Alcohol.
Mead, not meat. Mead.
Mead.
What is the strongest? Mead.
Alcohol.
Just give me a cup full of whatever you think will make me forget what just happened.
A cup. I give you a whole mug.
Oh.
And
I don't know if I can handle that.
You didn't.
You said you wanted
Yeah.
strong. This is strong, and you can have.
I do want strong.
Yeah, you did.
I do want strong. I
Never
really do,
specified
but
how
I don't know
much.
if I can handle it.
Then have meal with it.
Okay, maybe some like nuts and
Bread.
lettuce. Oh, I like bread. Yes, I like bread.
I have bread.
All right. With Gil providing some muscle, Raccoon, you get the party set up with some strong drinks and some healthy food to keep the alcohol from poisoning the lot of you. You've done this before. You don't really need to make any particular checks for it. You serve the party. The rest of the tavern goers seem just content with their own business. You still don't see Lorcan anywhere, but given the lack of tension in the tavern, you figure it like he's probably fine, maybe. So the four of you sit down with strong mugs of alcohol and some
Don't say baby like that.
and some healthy foods to make sure the alcohol doesn't ruin you for the day. And you are content for now. You guys can take it from there.
Lucian's gonna look at the cup. I'm gonna look at the cup. This is a lot for me, since I usually just drink wine, and just kind of gingerly take like sips before drinking like a third of it. Like unladylike gulping.
Roll the chug.
And then set it down.
Roll the chug.
At a table nearby, a couple ogres are just playing a small private game of cards. But as the one facing towards you guys sees you out of the corner of his eye, he just raises a fist in the air as you start chugging. Yeah!
And then I'll set it down and take a big sigh. I've never done that before.
I'm at the side going chug, 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 chug. You can do it.
A few orcs and ogres take the
You have already finished this.
You know what? I fuck it, and she's just gonna drink the rest.
All All right. So you guys spend a few minutes getting yourselves getting yourselves all warm and fuzzy.
Not me.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Raccoon
I
does
mean,
Raccoon's got a little juice pouch. Um,
Zephyr's just watching her, slowly fall into despair.
I give her another mug.
I look at it and just like, I don't know if I want to drink that. Before I get shit faced, I should probably share what the story is. Yes. And yes, Zephyr, you can stay because as much as I don't trust you,
She
I
trusts
think-
them less.
yes.
Raccoon is going to climb up on the table and sit in front of her, kind of like looking attentively, ears kind of perked.
It's been 100 and it's been 5 years since I have seen him. He was 165 last time I saw. My father was not the greatest of men. He was really known for his work, kind of like Dr. Watson. He like everybody in Wicked came to him, and people people knew him, but what they didn't know was that he was obsessed with experiments. At this point, I'm going to roll up my sleeve a little bit and show them one of my arms, which you see a series of scars similar to the ones that you saw on Lucifer. And then I will roll up the other sleeve and you will see matching ones.
Raccoon gasps.
When my father was doing experiments, he had twins. He had twins. And I guess he was just fascinated on how we would react to certain experiments that he had made, or, trying to see if our, I don't really know. I was really young, like in my 30s or 40s, so it's like really hard for me to remember.
That's older than me, though.
Elves' lives are a little bit different. That's like being like 10, I think, for you.
You're old. Well, 10 for me is like I am an adult at 10.
At this point, I will take a drink.
He's going to drink a lot more because he's 300.
And then set it back down. Yeah, and we when one twin would be experimented on, it was kind of, my mom wasn't really around very much. She was doing like lady things, royalty stuff, because she was like really important. I don't really remember much, to be honest. But Lucifer, if he was hurt, it would be my job to heal him and make sure that the injuries were not going to like fester, and it was really, really important that we did that for each other. So we were really close when we were little, but as we grew, we kind of went different. I was in my studies because I was supposed to take my dad's job, and Lucifer he would encourage me to cheat, but I would never cheat. I do not cheat, but he would encourage it, but I wouldn't do it. It's not like he was lazy. He just, I don't know. I think he was lazy, but I don't know. I take another drink. It's hard to explain because when my father was doing experiments, one, as experiments goes, went wrong, and it killed my mother.
I'm sorry. Sorry you lost your mother.
My mother was very well known and very loved. She was kind and she was generous. And when my brother found out, kind of went loopy. He killed my father. And then he, killed other people. Which is why he can't use his real name.
That's the reason for the whole thing.
What do you mean, yeah thing? What does that mean?
Did you even see him last week? Or yesterday?
Yes, I saw him, but here's the thing. His face didn't used to be like that. That was not my father. I know I made it sound like it, but it's a kind of a force of habit to play along with him because it is just easier than, getting a fucking drama because he's such a fucking drama queen, And I take another swig of the ale.
Get reckless. Oh my god.
And before he left, that was 5 years ago. Before he left, he found me. I'm not very hard to find. Usually I'm in a library or, finishing some of my father's works, not his experiments though. Sometimes doing other things, healing people, and he found me and he made the promise that he would come back for me. And the way he said it did not sound like, oh, I'm gonna come back for you. It was more like, I'm gonna come back for you. And I take more ale.
Those are the same words?
They are the same words, but they do not hone the same meaning. Some people say, oh, I can be back in a little bit. But, then there's the people who are like, oh, I'll be back for you. Like, in a really, like, menacing, like, ominous almost way.
Get in the chopper.
I'll be back. At this point, I will take more ale.
Occasionally, more and more, as effort troops off. Kind of like.
So, does that mean they won't be back?
He's come here. I asked him if he was here for me or himself, and it sounded like it was both.
Yeah, it sounded like you die, but
it did.
Oh yeah. What I heard, is this it or something like that?
I don't know. I don't know if this is like my time is up and he's here to get me, or if he's just playing with me like cat and mouse. My brother thinks that he can get away with anything. He just, and she like kind of like hyperventilates for a little bit. He thinks he's better. He has this visions of being the drama queen he is. He thinks he can do something and then it'll be fine, like not get in trouble, not be reprimanded.
That's rude on his part.
It is very like Lucifer. we used to have this maid, and she would always find, if he broke a vase or if he did something, she always knew it was him. I'm stickler to the rule, and he would always say, "Oh, it wasn't me." I don't know. I, this whole ordeal is just shocking. Really, like I said, I haven't seen him in 5 years. I don't know what that scratch is on his eye. I don't know how he lost his eye. I have so many questions for him.
He sounds like a jerk.
Yes, but he's still my brother.
If I had a brother like that, I'd drop kick him to the other end of the world. Off the flats.
I love my
Straight
brother.
into the void.
I love my brother very much.
I could love my brother and still drop kick him.
I'll drop kick him if he starts to fight. Maybe I'll fight back, but it would be really
Maybe.
hard.
Or maybe I wouldn't know for sure. I don't have a brother.
Well, I didn't really. The thing is, this whole thing, the whole time we were talking, something was different about him. I can't really, excuse me, that I had a little bit too much to drink. Maybe he said that he has changed. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
believe it.
I don't know if I believe him. I didn't really, I was too focused on that he was there in front of me to really think, logically. It was very emotional.
He looked at you like you were prey, and I didn't like it.
Like I was prey, like cat and mouse.
Like he spotted, not like cat and mouse. Like the wolf has surrounded the one that they wants to attack, and is about to pounce. The cats play with their toys, but it's like he wants to go for the throat.
But that's the thing. Maybe he wants to play with the toy before he eats it. I don't know what he wants. That's one of the things that I want to figure out. And also, I was thinking, and this is why I wanted you here, Zephyr.
Oh.
What if Dr. Watson is a part of that Scar Concord that your dad had talked about? He seems like a powerful enough man, and he has a lot of influence. He's very charismatic.
Possibly.
And do you think that maybe my brother is involved too? I mean, you were in there last before I, went and, puked my guts out.
Yes, I lingered, talked a bit.
What did you talk about?
Yeah, we have a meeting tomorrow, but
Well, I have a meeting with my brother tomorrow, but that's not like the point. What else did you talk about? What did you hear?
Here?
Yes.
Nothing of interest, I feel.
Insight.
Insight, definitely insight.
All three of us.
Can I insight too?
Let me get my dice. I didn't grab my dice.
Yeah, and sure. Zephyr, I'll say go ahead and I'll give you a deception check with advantage because you're not technically lying. It's more just being kind of selective with your information. But you're still trying to hide something. So I'll give you deception with advantage. The rest of you, make insight checks to contest.
I got an 8.
I have a 4.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
Hold on. 16 deception,
That's
right?
with modifier.
Yeah, deception with advantage.
16 19.
Okay. Zephyr seems completely honest. Anything
sorry.
he talked about in that room, likely just basically he seems genuinely convinced that it won't be of any interest to you.
Well, I guess if it was really important, he'd tell us. If it was like a bad danger thing, he'd tell us, right?
I don't really trust him enough to really know. You know, my brain is too full right now to
Wouldn't you,
really.
Zephyr?
What?
You tell us if it was a bad danger thing, right?
No.
Right?
If he has to think like that, then it's a no.
Raccoon's gonna try to like do the persuasion thing with the big
Whoa.
puppy dog eyes.
Yeah, I was actually saying, like, I just pictured Raccoon doing the puppy dog eyes.
Right?
I mean,
No, roll persuasion.
persuade me.
Well, yeah, like, well, yeah, Zephyr's still talking. Let Zephyr finish.
Go.
Ice. Be on our side with love and goodness. Well.
It's a 19.
Well, I guess.
Hi, Pippi. Hi, Pippi.
Well, we are on a mission, and while the mission is on the way, as much as you are all pain, very painful. You are very painful, all of you. But we have a quest. This quest done. So, at the time being, we are, I guess you could, the closest you can say to allies.
You think they are allies?
I don't know. I'm questioning if we go that. But we are we are associates on a quest. Right now, it does seem like I would need y'all to complete this quest. Seems as my father asked you all on this quest, so at the time being, I need you alive.
Here's the thing, Zephyr. I have an idea.
So you would tell Brinky Promise?
Well, yes. I have sneaking suspicion that, you know, maybe they have something to do with the Concord or know something about it at least. So here was what I am thinking. I really shouldn't have accepted, you know, an invitation to that tea party.
Wow.
But if I do go, Gil comes with me as bodyguard. And then you and Raccoon go to his office.
Well,
and see if you can't find any letters. I can draw you the symbol.
Letter?
Raccoon? Yeah, there's probably letters or
climb?
something. What?
To climb ladders.
No, not ladders. Letters. Like a note.
Pieces of paper.
How would I know what we need? I can't read.
You can see a symbol, right? You can see a drawing, right?
I mean,
Yes.
Okay, then I can show you the drawing of the symbol for this group of people that we are trying to find.
Invite to a
invite.
party.
Yes. Here and do I still have those? I probably still have those letters from the king that he gave me, right?
Yeah, you haven't gotten rid of them. So.
One of the letters, I'm going to tear off the seal that has the symbol on it, and I'm going to give it to Raccoon. This is the symbol that you would be looking for.
All right. So what does the symbol look like?
The symbol is the sort of regional symbol of Yav with 3 slashes across it, as if clawed by an animal.
Could it possibly mean anything to me?
Make a history check.
Let's see.
17. Ooh, I'm getting
Uh,
good rolls tonight.
Yeah. You've never seen the symbol before, and you're not exactly an expert on like how like the symbology that goes into making a seal or coat of arms. Um, uh, but you can gather from the symbology at least that it appears they are a very widespread organization, but that's about all you can gather. You've never seen the symbol before, so don't really know any further context behind it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna shrug and nod.
Raccoon, this group of people could either be good or bad. We don't know yet. At least I don't really understand it that much. Anyways, we're looking for this group of people. We only know so many people on it, on this group. And it's really important that we find, maybe more members. But we have to do it sneaky, Like it's very secret. This is a secret group. So
I can
you
do
know.
the sneaky. I can
Okay, that's good. Then you and Zephyr could probably get into the office with no problem. If we are, somewhere else, like in like a different part of the house.
Yeah, we're gonna, the
Well,
parties, the tea parties at the mansion
Okay, but where is the office?
in the clinic.
Do you know Sims? Do you know where his office is? Do you know Raccoon?
Oh, whose office?
The doctor, Dr. Watson.
I mean,
In his building?
Yeah, which building? Is it in the clinic where you go to get checkup? Or is it at his house?
Do I know?
You've only ever been to the clinic, but you do know that like it seems like he just kind of lives there, given the like elaborate furnishings and a lot of the very very superfluous decoration.
So I could
So
guess about where it would be.
well, you don't. He's never taken you into his private quarters, but you can at least just through like you can just kind of logically gather that he seems to live there or spend most of his time there because he has like the private study and all. But yeah, you've never seen his office. He's very respectful, but he tends to either make house calls or just take you into one of the clinical areas, like where he was taking care of Lucifer's eye. So you've never seen like much of his private areas outside of the study and the clinical rooms.
I got a question. Has the bartender, I can't remember his name.
Lorcan.
Hold on, I wrote it down.
Yeah, Blorkin. Has he come back yet?
Yes. Yeah. As you kind of look around and conversation begins to die down, after a few minutes pass, the door opens and Lorcan actually steps through, looking a little tired but seeming otherwise fine. And he kind of does a slight double take as he sees you guys and smiles and approaches, kind of giving you a smile and a nod, Raccoon.
Lorcan, where'd you go? I had to be a bartender for a little bit. There was nobody here.
Well, I went to let the doctor know to expect you as you asked me to, but he said that you had already been to see him.
Yes, we just happened to go right where his clinic was. We didn't know it was right there.
He just smiles and nods. Well, it's no harm done, as long as everything turned out fine. Did you get what you were looking for?
Kinda? Maybe sorta. Yes?
I just kind of purse my lips a little bit and look at the rest of my ale, trying to decide if I want to drink it.
Probably more than we wanted, to be honest.
Well, that's often what you get at a doctor's office, unfortunately.
Lorcan, we have a question. Do you might possibly know where the doctor's office is?
He kind of tilts his head to the side and says,
Not the building, but the area he works in.
He
Like a
kind of tilts his head to the side and shakes his head and says, I'm afraid I've never been particularly close to the man. He's a very private person. I've never found his personal study, never had a particular reason to.
Lorcan, I have a question for you.
Yes, Lucian.
Do you know if Dr. Watson has any I don't know, partners. Not like a partner, but like maybe like a sponsor.
You see him
You
kind
mean
of.
like a lover?
Yeah, he
No,
kind
not
of.
like a lover. No, like somebody who gives money or
No,
fame.
no, I was joking.
I was gonna say you see Lorcan and Raccoon both kind of smile whenever you first say partner, but then after you clarify, Lorcan at least kind of looks slightly put out, but kind of shakes his head to focus and kind of crosses his arms and taps his foot and kind of slowly works his way back to the other side of the bar to start distributing food and drink to the patrons of the tavern. Well, like I said, I never saw a particular purpose to getting invasive into his private affairs. But from what I've noticed through Raccoon and I's visits, he seems to be largely self-funded. I imagine he got a generous sponsorship from his time in the Gilgren territories and decided to retire into some peace and quiet.
What I mean is, have you seen anybody with him before? Like, maybe giving him a good name or like a good review? Possibly somebody with red hair like me.
He kind of thinks for a moment before shaking his head. I'm afraid not, but then again, I tend to not be very focused on the other patients. Gotta make sure Raccoon and myself are taken care of first and foremost.
You like gossip, right, Lorcan?
I
No,
indulge here and there.
that's more of my area too. That's more my area.
Well,
I can hide under the
maybe
tables and listen.
maybe you can do something for us, and you can have a little fun too.
He kind of stops for a moment and smiles before leaning forward on the counter. Do tell.
Well,
Ooh, is it time for a bait and switch?
Well, I think that maybe there is somebody who is giving him fame or at least getting his name out there. You said that he is the only doctor here, right?
He's not the only doctor, but he is the only one who does prosthetic work. So serious injuries are typically treated by him and him alone. But I wouldn't be too worried about that rabbit hole you're jumping down. I'm sure he told you himself, but he's certainly been open about it with Raccoon and myself. He's not interested in fame or fortune. He wants to just do his work and be left alone for the most part. He has his money and he has his research, and as far as I can tell, at least that seems to be enough for him.
Well, don't you think that he would be interested in working with somebody who is a little prestigious?
Like I said, I wouldn't exactly call us bosom buddies, but I suppose it would be hard for a man of his caliber to turn down the opportunity.
He said bosom.
You'd see Lorcan just kind of snort.
Like I said, if you hear anything, you could maybe let us know, especially concerning Dr. Watson. I'm very interested.
Of course, I'll keep my ears open. And he kind of gives a poke to his long elvish ears and grins.
I will take some more ale.
He kind of gives you a sympathetic nod and gives all of you a refill on food and drinks.
Has Lucy drunk yet?
Probably. Do I need to do a con save?
I think I'm cutting you off at this moment. And Raccoon kind of like stills like what's left of her mug and looks at it, raises an eyebrow, looks at it, stares at it some more, and chugs it.
Alright.
Yeah, so
I was going to drink that Raccoon.
Also, at the same moment, dodging Lorcan, who probably saw this coming and tried to grab her.
Yeah. But the moment you run off, Lorcan just sighs and shakes his head, like deciding he's not gonna like chase you all over the tavern for it.
Remember how drunk it immediately makes me?
Yeah, make a Constitution roll or Constitution saving throw.
Here
Why
we
not?
go.
Do you want me to do the same?
Well, if you want to get drunk, then that's like your prerogative from a role play perspective. But
I think it would make sense.
You're not gonna believe me, but it was in that one.
Instant
So-
drunk.
So again, Lucian,
The
it's
heist
basically
tomorrow, right?
if you want to be, but you can make a constitution saving throw if you want, just for posterity. And you guys watch as Lorcan gives up and just leans on the table and just kind of nods to you guys and gestures to Raccoon, almost with a kind of watch this expression. Raccoon jumps up on one of the tables, the two ogres playing cards kind of pulling their chips and cards to themselves. Raccoon victoriously hoists up their mug, takes a kind of experimental sip, and immediately falls over backwards, the liquid sloshing all over themselves and the floor as the ogres just kind of gently deposit them off the table.
Okay, I'm rolling. Oh my god.
Kind of
Oh
fun.
my
Lorcan,
Oh.
haven't I tried it before?
Oh,
You're not gonna believe me.
another nat
Also
one.
One.
Oh.
God, it's a party of lightweights.
Lightweights.
You,
Raccoon can get away with it, even though she doesn't like. She works with the stuff, but she doesn't always drink it. But suddenly she's like,
Oh my
"This
god.
one time, I'm going to."
Alright.
I rolled again just for shits and giggles and that got a natural
Sorry,
20.
I had a phone call.
Take this.
I got a 17.
so yeah, Gil, you're fine. You just got a kind of a good buzz going. Lucian, you are plastered.
Of course.
And Lorcan kind of looks slightly like he's like kind of torn between laughter and like I probably shouldn't have given them that next round, and collects the drinks from all of you. He kind of looks to you, Zephyr. You gonna have any of yours?
No.
Come on, Zephyr. Come on.
Come on, Zephyr. Do it.
No, let's not peer pressure. There's
don't
always around for you at Nordwick, Zephyr, and he kind of takes he's not like yanking it away from you, but just kind of taking it. Like if you're not going to stop him, he'll just take the drink back.
Just let him have it, you know? I don't need it.
And he kind of Raccoon as you come stumbling back to the
Lorcan!
yes, Raccoon.
Why are there 4 of you?
I learned how to invoke duplicity recently.
Really? Can you teach me?
Sure, but for now, why don't you go take a nap?
But I'm not tired.
Yes, you are.
Lucian, look what you're doing it too.
Gil's
How
gonna
are you?
pick up.
You're doing it too. I don't see 4. I see 6.
Raccoon just kind of like, Raccoon just stares at her hands and she's like,
How? I didn't cast any magic. Is it magic drink?
Lorcan just kind of nods to you, Gil.
Lorcan, why is your alcohol not?
I'm gonna pick up Raccoon
No,
and put it in my arm and rock her back and forth.
You
no,
gonna
let me
resist?
down. Let me
And
down.
I'm gonna put her to sleep.
You gonna do
Wait,
a
did you-
stealth
let me
distraction?
down.
Did you put me down? Did you pick me up?
No, I
Let me
didn't pick
down.
you up.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I just picked up.
So you gonna make a
Raccoon.
grapple check on her?
Yeah, Raccoon, are you gonna try and get away?
Let me down. Yes. I want down.
Grapple
Yeah,
check,
I don't use
Raccoon, you,
brain.
yeah, Raccoon, you are plastered, so you are gonna make this with a disadvantage.
okay, strength. Is it strength?
You can, it's athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
I will do acrobatics. Okay,
Strength or
first one
dex?
is a 19 without modifier, and the second one is a 15 without modifier. So plus modifier is 4, so that's a 19 either way.
26.
Fuck.
What is
Raccoon
put
is
me down.
struggling valiantly.
No, put me down. I want the down. No.
Lorcan just kind of approaches you and kind of takes Raccoon out of your grip and says, "Come on, dear. It's time for us to go lay down."
But I want down.
And make sure you need to have some water, or you're really going to regret this tomorrow morning.
I'm gonna try to get out of Lorcan's arms.
Okay, another grapple with disadvantage.
Okay, so Raccoon goes to move, but passes out immediately.
That one.
And that one.
So you finally just just out like a light, and Lorcan just nods as if expecting this and kind of gently cradles you before starting to walk you back towards where the two of you sleep. And as he's going, he kind of turns back to the rest of you, Lucian, still pretty plastered, and kind of nods to all of you and says, make sure that that is all cleaned up before you head out onto the streets. I hear the Gyogrins arrived this morning, and I don't imagine the rifles are just for show, and I'd hate for there to be some sort of mess. And he kind of winces a bit.
Gil, isn't that where you are from?
Yeah.
I'd be really interested to meet your dad.
Tell you.
Yeah, I really want to meet your dad.
Pick Lucian up.
No, you
and
won't.
carry,
No.
and carry her to her room.
No, I can test.
I contest.
Yeah.
Christ. So Lorcan just kind of goes and you two go ahead and grapple contest. Lorcan takes Raccoon to bed and just kind of.
That's almost like 2 in a row. 2 nuts. 2 up.
It's a very odd session already.
Listen, we're enjoying it, okay? That's all that matters.
It's fun. I'm just like in terms of the rolls.
Listen, at least this isn't battle.
And, so how the grapple contest turn out?
2 and a 3.
I got a 20.
Yeah, so Gil, you pretty easily lift the struggling drunken spellcaster and just start taking them upstairs.
It's like our dice is realizing that our characters are drunk.
Yeah. And Raccoon, as Lorcan puts you down for bed, he just leaves like a large, like pretty sizable mug just filled with like sparkling water to
Just kind of like
help you in the morning.
groans at him the entire way up. Just Lorcan. Lorcan.
As he's like tucking you in, he just kind of nods. Raccoon.
Lorcan.
He just kind of pats you on the head as he.
This is fun. I like that there are multiples everywhere.
I fucking love drunk Raccoon.
I would die for her.
So Gil, are you heading to bed as well after getting Lucian?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Not yet.
Like,
Alright,
did you
so-
even put me to bed, or are you just carrying me?
I can put you in your room, in your bed.
Wait, don't leave me. Gil,
I just have a quick errand, and I also gotta go clean up that table. Remember
no,
what,
Gil, no,
he said?
no, listen. I really need you here with me.
Oh.
Please?
I will be right back.
No, that means now. Not later, now. Please.
Uncle Lucian's
What time is
demanding.
it? Roughly what time is it, Matt?
It's kind of like late afternoon by this point. Like if I had to give a time, I'd say like 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
They got drunk early.
It's your guys' idea.
I will tell her, okay.
You promise you won't
But
leave?
But you have to go to sleep.
But I'm not tired. I have like
Oh,
a
yeah?
million things in my head that I have to talk about.
Raccoon at this point is getting out of bed now that Lorcan has left.
Oh God.
Please, just sit here and talk to me. You know, Zephyr was not really the most helpful of people. You know, he's not even a people. He's a lizard. You know, he's not the helpful lizard.
People.
Alright.
Gil's gonna laugh at that.
He's not even the people.
We can talk for a little bit, but then you must go to sleep.
But I am not tired.
You're more tired than you know.
No,
Drunk,
I am
not
I am like, my brain is like a choo-choo train. It is going 1,000,000 miles per hour.
I'm
Are
gonna,
those even a thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were riding on a train when they first met.
Okay, we can talk, but you have to lay down.
No.
It's that,
Raccoon
or
is trying to get out of the door.
Fine. I lay down begrudgingly.
Raccoon knocks on the door several times. Lorcan!
You just hear kind of slightly in the distance, "Go to bed, Raccoon."
She's gonna, rather than open the door, she's gonna try to get under the crack between the door and the floor.
So much like a pudgy cockroach, you try desperately to fit into a space that's just not going to take you.
Wait, can I roll dexterity?
Sure, make a dexterity check. Why not? Sure.
Let it happen, Matt. Let it happen.
You make about as much progress as you'd expect trying to fit your big rock solid goblin head under the crack of a door.
She gets like one of her hands and it's just like tapping underneath the door, just trying to like grab whatever, like if there's any like people walking by and there's like ankles, she's like trying to grab for the ankle.
Little ankle biter. Little ankle biter.
Okay. While all that is happening, Zephyr, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, now that Gil carried the two drunk lads upstairs or downstairs. Well,
Now, Lorcan took Raccoon to their room, and
Yeah.
Gil took Lucian upstairs.
Gil gave it to.
Lorcan.
But
Gil, listen.
Oh, these two are a nightmare drunk. Oh my god. Just trap them in a room together. They'll keep each other busy.
Oh my god.
So they're just Lucian.
Raccoon.
Raccoon.
Yeah. So what are you doing, Zephyr?
Raccoon.
obviously, this is a good show of don't drink.
Yeah, just like wow. I never needed more convincing to not drink.
And I'm trying to think of they have me in this plan of theirs, but I have other stuff to do.
Yeah, you have your own agenda.
So you said it was like around like 4-ish.
Yeah. It's like about 4:30.
That's too early or too early to go to bed. So I guess Zephyr will just, seeing as the party's kind of gone, I'm gonna go off outside and explore. I don't know.
Raccoon's gonna try to open the door again.
The door is locked. You
I'm going to like pat Gil's back, like listen.
Betrayed. Betrayal.
Why did you make me lay down? Now my head hurts.
You'll thank me in a little bit.
I will not thank you later. This is terrible. Why do people do this for fun?
It helps them forget.
That's what I wanted. But they still remember.
No. The forgetting part comes later.
She kind of has like this like realized look on her face, like, oh.
Yeah, you remember this part.
You have to
Everyone's trying to
suffer.
pick locks.
Yeah.
Do you have thieves' tools?
Let me check. It's not like
Did
crime
I say everything right?
Yeah. You did pretty well.
I have a dagger.
All right.
I mean,
Sure.
You got the first one.
Make me a dexterity check with disadvantage.
That is a 15 and a 15.
Okay.
Nice.
You just kind of drunkenly jam the dagger into the lock, and to the utter bafflement of your DM,
All you hear is
you manage to the door swings open, and
Yes.
Zephyr, as you're standing up to leave, you see a just raccoon wobbling side to side, their little goblin pupils the size of dinner plates, just looking around with a dagger in hand, looking delighted. And Lorcan just turns and like kind of does a double take. Raccoon!
Lurkin.
He just approaches you and just like a cat he just gave a bath to, just picks you back up.
No, I want it down. No, I want it out. I'm fighting against this.
Are you fighting against
As
them
an
with your
18.
knife in your hand? With your
And
dagger
that's
in
a
your hand?
20.
Uh,
So disadvantage is still 18.
okay, you managed to just like drunken fist style dodge your elvish caretaker, dagger still in hand, and just start darting across the tavern towards Zephyr.
I am sliding down the railings of the stairs.
Hmm. Energetic one.
Lurkin!
He's just like slumped over the bar. Yes, raccoon.
I'm high up on the railing. How do I get down?
He just shakes his head and is gonna just go up the stairs and try and grab you again. Just very
No,
slow,
no.
like.
No. No.
I mean.
Christ alive.
No.
So you can test?
I can test. And a 10 and a 10. Plus modifiers. Wait, what is strength?
Well, strength or dexterity, your call.
Yeah.
That's plus 4.
Okay. Yeah, it's still you're slow and uncoordinated, but you skirt your gradually tiring caretaker. So, do you have any plans besides making a ruckus?
No, you hear Lucian. Listen.
And you can hear some sounds in the tavern below, but it's not much different than just the ambient noise of rowdy orcs and ogres and giants.
Is it bad, Gil, that I kind of want to see my brother after all this time? Even though he might kill me?
A little bit.
But he's my brother. Do you not have siblings?
No, I don't.
Well, that's explained it. You don't understand. There's like a bond, between, siblings. And like, I don't know. It's just really hard to understand unless you have a sibling.
I might have a sibling. I don't know.
How do you not know?
Because I'm actually not the true heir my father's claim.
What?
I was adopted. Okay.
You were adopted?
Yeah.
Plot twist.
When I am drunk.
Because I don't
Because
want.
you're not going to remember it.
Gil, this is important. Is that why you ran away?
Who said I ran away?
I did.
Part of the reason. Okay.
You can tell me, I won't judge you.
Maybe not yet.
I just told you my whole fucking life story. Well, most of it, really. The important part. I can tell you the name of my maid. I could tell you, like, my mom's name or my dad's. Well, you know my dad's name. I have the same name as my dad. I can tell you.
The difference is you might know who I'm going to be talking about, I don't need that getting out quite yet.
What
Yeah.
do you mean? What are you hiding, Gil?
Nothing.
She squints at him.
Nothing that's gonna hurt you.
Do I believe him?
Well, Gil, are you lying?
Insight.
No, I'm not lying.
All right, go ahead and roll insight, Lucian.
Oh my god. 20.
He seems to be being straightforward with you, as best as you can guess with your current mindset.
I want to go. We go tomorrow. I'm going to ask Raccoon to, gussy me up a little bit. I want to be pretty. Not that I'm not already.
Have you seen Raccoon?
Yeah, but she guesses that you know how to use a makeup kit or at least a disguise kit.
Disguise kit, yeah.
Well, then you may be good at makeup.
Have you
Lucian
seen Raccoon?
Lucian doesn't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it, Gil. My maid would do it for me anytime that we would have to go out. So it's not like I know.
We can get you help with that, don't worry.
You're not going to do it.
I said we can get you help. I didn't say I was going to do
I don't want anybody's help. I want Raccoon's help. I like Raccoon.
Okay. But you need to sober up first. And for that, you need to get some sleep.
But if I go asleep, you'll go away.
No,
Like,
I won't.
Lucian's eyes are just like starting to roll at this point. I don't believe you. I know you hate me, Gil. I have not been the nicest of persons.
I don't hate you.
I hated you for a long time. Only recently I have not hated you.
Yeah, you haven't exactly kept that part secret.
I'm sorry. I did not know you were adopted. I expected you to be like a prince because I thought you were a prince, not some orphan boy. That came out wrong. I'm sorry.
It's not like Aladdin. It's more like have y'all seen Prince of Persia?
No.
Yes.
I'm like him, taken in off the streets.
See, I did not know you were orphan boy. Otherwise, maybe my expectations would have been lower.
Get them sleep. And he's going to
Perfect way to make a friendship. Lower your expectations.
I'm going to put my hand on her and make her lay down completely and be still.
I contest.
Christ, go ahead.
Are you suffocating her?
Let's see.
Nah, just like pushing her down.
Is that acrobatics or athletics?
Well, again, for you pick. He has to do athletics.
Yeah, it's.
See, with this,
Oh, I have
the
to
thought
do
about him
athletics.
like kind of pushing her down and her trying to contest, like all I'm seeing is him pushing her down, her popping back up, him pushing her down, her popping back up, him pushing her down, her popping back up.
I'm sticking with whatever result comes up first, otherwise we're going to be here all day.
I got a 17.
I
Okay,
had a
Gil.
natural fucking 20. I had 20.
Fuck.
You, Lucian's already pretty much on the way out. So you managed to put Lucian down for bed pretty easily. And Lucian, you don't last much longer before you're pretty much about to pass out.
Before I actually go to sleep, she's going to feel around for Gil. Just make me one promise. I kind of open up one eye to look at him. Don't go after Lucifer, please.
I won't.
Promise?
He will take his great sword off of his back and put it on the bed next to her. Here, I'll even leave this here with you.
Maybe on the floor? I don't want to sleep next to a sharp object.
It's in a case.
Fine.
Case.
A
It's in fucking case.
sheath.
Yeah. Also, just want to say as a quick side note, apologies if my typing is coming in through my mic. I'm trying to mute while I do it, but sometimes I just forget.
It's
fine.
okay. Then I will finally go to sleep.
All right.
Mm.
Gil, what do you do?
I'm going to get up. I'm going to go outside of her door very, very quietly.
Okay.
Yeah, right away.
I'm going to close the door. And I'm going to take my rope out of my backpack and keep like tie the door handle on hers to my door handle, which is on the other side of the hallway, so she can't just open the door later on. And then I'm gonna go back downstairs.
Okay. Raccoon, like I said, for the sake of brevity, what's your end game since Lorcan can't really catch you?
She's gonna find the hidey hole.
Okay.
It's
You-
between some kegs.
Okay. So you're just gonna chill there?
There's okay, so underneath the bar, there is a keg that is empty and it's got like an empty back, and she crawls in under the bar and crawls into this and hides in it.
Okay.
But the best thing about it is that it has a blanket inside. She's hidden here before. This is her hidey hole nest, and no one knows it's there. But Lorcan actually knows it's there, but doesn't tell her that he
No
knows
one
it's
knows
there.
except for
Yeah.
him.
I get he's already just trying to keep the business running, so he just seems content that you're quiet for a while. So you just gonna chill.
Lorcan
He just
can't
kind of
find me.
he just Zephyr, you can see him kind of like, no, he doesn't seem angry, just kind of like, all right, and just focuses on mixing drinks for the ogres.
I can't be found.
All right.
And
So,
hide.
so Zephyr, as you're getting ready to head out, you see Gil heading downstairs.
All right. Guess I'll look at Gil, and then I'll keep looking at him, and then I'll walk out.
Okay. Gil, you follow him?
Oh, yeah.
For
He,
fun.
like, just for fun.
For fun. I thought you had errands.
The two of you step out, and as the door to Nortwick shuts behind you, the late afternoon sun creating a pretty thick heat over the city. That it creates a very sleepy atmosphere with the like heat mixing with the very like various incenses and scent of spices. But the sleepy mood is kind of disrupted slightly as you guys look down towards the town square, like the street leading towards it. You can actually see several soldiers uniformed in white and carrying rifles, kind of just marching, not like it's kind of a casual, like not super uniform march, but they're clearly like a unit and going together. And Zephyr, you don't recognize them on sight, but Gil, you do recognize these as the soldiers from your homeland.
As soon as I see this, I'm going to immediately use my hat of disguise self, and I'm going to change into Lucian.
Well, everyone uses each other for disguises and fake names.
Shit, you right.
Eh, convenient.
You ain't wrong.
Nope.
All right. So, what would the two of you like to do?
Well, I want to see who all's in the group.
Like among the soldiers?
Like, is it the soldiers, or is there nobility with them heading towards the palace?
No, you just see the soldiers. Like it seems to be just the soldiers with a commander, like kind of directing them. But you don't recognize anyone, and they seem to be just kind of a small patrol of sorts. But looking beyond them, you can actually see several other just kind of blobs of white, basically, kind of moving up and down the streets, in a very like distinctive, organized pattern.
So I'm actually going to head back, and I'm going to start looking for the carriage that my family arrived in. and I want to see who all came.
Okay. Zephyr, Gil starts to head towards the town square. Do you follow, or do you have your own objective in mind?
I mean, I had no objectives, so sure, I'll follow. No.
Okay. The two of you start to head towards the town square. Gil in the lead. As you arrive, the crowd has mostly started to disperse at this point, as most of the nobility has already arrived. You actually do not see the carriage that your family arrived in. Again, it seems like most people already. You did see this morning while you were searching for evidence of the cloaked figure from the night before. You did see that many of the groups were arriving early, and like as in like early in the day. So you presume they might have been among that group, as you do not see evidence of their carriage or method of travel anywhere.
Zephyr, where was that manor at again?
I mean, I believe it's just a big building over there, right? Or the big old building that holds all the royals.
And I'm going to start heading that way.
Okay, Zephyr, do you follow?
He'll sigh, and he will proceed to walk behind him.
Okay. So Zephyr, having traveled this way before, you help direct Gil to the just essentially the optimal path to the uh, jungle and marshland garden where the manor occupies. And You guys approach the gates, and sure enough, they don't give you any trouble, but you do see two Geogran soldiers standing like perfectly at watch on either side of the gate. They don't seem like they're intent to stop anyone, just kind of there. Um, uh, but Gil and Zephyr looking in the garden, you can see various people currently in conversation with each other. But Gil, make me a perception check.
$24.
You don't see your anyone directly connected to you in the garden, and as you turn around to kind of to figure out what to do next and get your bearings, maybe see if you can catch a glimpse of the carriage, you see a particularly large patrol coming down the street. You guys have walked down to arrive here, and at their head is your father. Zephyr, you see this tall, fairly respectably built elf, uh, wearing a pure white military long coat and black, very thick black pants. You can see he has a head of pure white hair, contrasting Gil's darker hair, but it's kept in a very short, straight cut under a black military cap with what you presume to be the Geogran symbol on it. This man walks with a very fine, strict posture with his arms behind his back, the soldiers behind him. Gil, looking around, you do not see anyone else with him, but he begins to approach the two of you. They don't seem hostile, just walking. What do you do?
I am just going to stay there. I'm not going to act suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, my disguise holds.
Zephyr?
Well, I'm not again. No one's telling Zephyr anything, so he's just going to.
But I will whisper at Zephyr, say,
That is not true.
"That's my
Well,
dad."
okay, yeah, that's what I hear. he only told me until after everything happens. But alright, so now he told me. But man, he's just going to be. He's just gonna shrug and River just continued to follow Gil, quote unquote, Lucian.
Mm-hmm. All right. You guys just act casual as the particularly large patrol with the general at its head begins to approach. As he approaches the two of you, he kind of looks to you, Zephyr, looks to you, Gil, kind of gives both of you a nod. And kind of gives you Gil a tip of his military cap, the Geogran symbol kind of gleaming slightly in the afternoon sun. Evening. We're just passing through.
Don't mind us.
He gives you a nod and nods to you, Zephyr. Stay out of trouble, and gestures for the soldiers to follow as he passes through the gates.
I want to wait for them to move out of sight. I'm going to transform into one of the guards and just follow at a discreet distance.
Okay. Make me a stealth check if you don't mind. And Zephyr, while this is happening, what are you doing?
So he's trying to stealthily be a guard while he's going in there?
Yeah.
And it was a dirty 20.
Okay.
I mean, he's just gonna. You know what? Because I think possibly, unless the guard shifted, they should know him. So he's just gonna confidently walk inside.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Gil, you disappear behind one of the buildings since there are the two guards at the gate. Transform and exit and start to make your way. Zephyr, you enter first, as Gil needs to take the time to change his disguise. The guards give you no trouble, just a simple nod as you pass through. And Gil, as you approach, you see one of them kind of glare at you sternly before kind of nodding and kind of does like the shush finger to his lips and nods quickly towards the patrol that's about halfway through the garden now. Kind of like, hey, like, don't get in trouble, catch up.
I'll wave thank you and hurry along.
Okay. Zephyr, you see Gil kind of hurry and catch up and basically kind of stays with the patrol while still maintaining some distance, and just kind of picks up the march. So how long are you guys planning to follow the patrol for?
I'm looking to see if maybe my dad's going to lead me towards where the family is or something like that.
Okay.
He has no plan, so he's just gonna keep following. It's like, all right, well, probably get killed, but whatever.
Okay. After a moment, the patrol completes its march towards the mansion, and Gil, you see your father. Zephyr, you see the general step up onto the stairs. The giant with the clipboard kind of immediately nodding and kind of giving a bow to him, and the general turns and salutes to the soldiers in the patrol, all of them returning the gesture. You're dismissed. And the soldiers begin to disperse slightly, and the general gives a nod and opens the door to the manor and walks inside.
All right. So what now, Lucian? Or well, actually not Lucian. Right now you're a guard. What now, guard?
Give me a minute, I'm thinking.
Zephyr, as you approach him and kind of wait for him to figure out what to do next. You kind of look around and you see the soldiers just starting to like essentially like kind of meld into some of the other groups in the garden, and you see many of them are kind of immediately getting like uncomfortable or like defensive, and you could see you could hear several very discontented murmurs as the general arrived and dismissed the soldiers. Seems like people are, you can immediately tell from just the kind of air here that people are not super happy about his presence.
Do I hear any of this malcontent?
Yeah, with your passive perception, yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah. Again, similar to Zephyr, you just hear that general, like, like as soon as he like dismissed the soldiers, there was immediately like, just people like muttering to each other, clearly not friendly. And you can see soldiers are just kind of like trying to like chill with the others, and people are starting to like essentially like clearly trying to get rid of them, but the soldiers won't leave.
Would I know any particular reason why they're acting this way towards my dad's soldiers?
I will say, your father had. It's always been tradition for the rulers of Yav to attend the summer and winter balls, as it is the best way for the leaders to have a neutral place to meet, and encourage friendly relations between empires. However, this is the first time that your father has brought such a big contingent of troops with him.
So I'm going to go and mingle with the other soldiers to find out exactly why so many of us came and see if I can't
Okay.
glean some information.
All right. Make me an investigation check while that's going on. Zephyr, what are you doing? So yeah, just go ahead and make me an investigation check. But in the meanwhile, Zephyr, what are you doing?
So where are we exactly?
You're in that garden area where people tend to gather. The Gyogran soldiers are just kind of like mingling with everyone, and they aren't happy about it. And Gil just kind of wandered off and seems to be trying to like kind of mesh into one of those groups and chat up the soldiers.
And it was a 15.
Okay.
Badly. I don't. I want to do it, but I don't. I know I'll probably screw up, but
It's up to you.
Can I pickpocket someone?
Sure. Who do you want to pickpocket?
Well, no, I probably couldn't get close to him. I mean, I guess just anyone that I could see them kind of like somewhat by themselves, obviously not like guarded up.
Okay. I'll say make me a perception check. While that's going on, Gil. So you managed to blend in, and now that you're kind of getting into it, yeah, it seems like the soldiers aren't necessarily being hostile, but the people clearly don't want them there, but the soldiers very much want to be there. But as you kind of chat up some of the soldiers, it seems like they're just as confused as you are, from what you're able to gather from just casual conversation without being overtly suspicious about it. You are able to pick up that like the soldiers don't have any idea why they were brought here. The general just basically ordered that a pretty sizable chunk of the military accompany him to the summer ball this year.
Very interesting.
I got an 8.
But okay. But yeah, so they seem about as clueless as you are, but they seem to be enjoying the chance to socialize. But it seems like the people don't enjoy them getting the chance to socialize. And Zephyr, no particular target jumps out at you, but you imagine from their pretty fine dress that some of the soldiers would likely uh, have some coin on them if you wanted to go for that.
Sure. We'll try to, stealthily pick a guard or a soldier.
Okay. Make me a sleight of hand check.
I did better than my last one. Not really. With my modifier, the math. That will be, I think, 12.
Okay. Gil, as you're in conversation with one of the soldier is just kind of chatting and just seems pretty casual. And it's one of the few times you found a soldier that wasn't basically just accosting some of the local nobility. You feel some little hands start to rifle through your bag.
I'm going to quickly turn around, grab the little kobold,
I mean,
because I'm staying in character here, and I'm gonna pick him up by one hand.
pick me up by one hand.
What do you think you're doing?
The soldier immediately, like you can hear the hammer of his rifle pull back. But Zephyr, before you even have the chance to start fighting against it, you have basically just enough time to register, like, oh yeah, like that's probably Gil, isn't it? You hear the of your father's cane slamming against the dirt and grass. Uh, and you see your family making their way towards the scene. A lot of the local nobility's head turning as you accost the kobold. And Zephyr, your father, just casual as can be, kind of inches forward, and you can see your siblings at his back. And King Tebedra looks up to you, Gil, with a smile, with his sharp-toothed little half gnome smile. And what business is encouraging you to accost my servants? It's bad enough you're bothering the local nobility. And you can hear several of the non-soldiers kind of chuckle a bit.
You tried to rob me.
Oh, that's just what you Gyogrins always say. He tried to rob me. He had a gun on him, and he kind of baps your arm with his cane, trying to, basically hitting the cane against your wrist to get you to release Zephyr.
I'll let him go, but I'm gonna glare at him.
He just smiles, and kind of his eyes kind of twinkle mischievously as he looks you over, Zephyr, and kind of nods to you, and looks to you and the other soldier. Good day. And kind of gestures for you to follow him, Zephyr, as he turns and starts to hobble away.
Alright. I'll go follow my father.
Okay.
I'm gonna mutter underneath my breath after he's left. Fucking nobility.
With that,
what did the other guards react? Did they react to that?
the other guard is just continuing to trail Zephyr with the barrel of the rifle, but seems more just kind of confused than anything, and just kind of seeing how this plays out essentially. He doesn't take his eyes off Zephyr and keeps his rifle leveled, but kind of nods to you.
And then I'll say, stand down.
He very slowly lowers his rifle, and kind of glares and scoffs at in Zephyr and the Tibadrian's directions before slinging the rifle back over his shoulder.
Yeah, I don't have to see about getting one of those. I seem to misplace my.
He kind of gives you a kind of nod with a smile and says, "Yeah, easy enough to do. Perhaps you can talk to the general. I know we brought some extras."
Could you tell me where the supplies are?
Uh,
Don't worry, I told the general that I lost my gun. You know.
he kind of head and says, "Sorry, the general's got a very tight ship running right now. It's only this amount of people can know where the supplies are. Only this people get to keep track of the family. These people for the carriage. My job's just to accompany the general. I'm not allowed to know anything else. Classified."
Understandable. You do your job well.
You as well, soldier. And don't worry, I know the general's been a bit on edge lately, but he's not. I'm sure he won't punish you too hard for simple misplacing of your gun.
We can hope so, right?
Yeah. You take care. And he kind of starts to head off.
And I guess I will wait around and see if I can't find the general.
Okay. So, Zephyr, heading inside the mansion with your family. Lucian and Raccoon asleep in Lorcan's. And Gil in the garden trying to figure out how to, as indirectly as possible, locate your father, who has arrived for the summer ball with an elvish army at his back. That is where we will pick up next session.
I'm not ready for that. It's only been an hour and 30 minutes.
I'm sorry, Sips needs sleep.
I need more.
Well, so I hope everyone had fun at least. With about a day and a half before the summer ball begins, things are starting to get spicy. Thanks everyone so much for watching. Thanks you guys so much for playing, and we will meet up next week.
Hopefully.